Hey Goals Fit coaches, just a quick resource on the marches that we have programmed. You might see these frequently, and it does carry over to farmer carries, front rack carries, and overhead carries. So I want to just go over a quick principle that you want to make sure that you're locking everybody down with, and that is just locking down their hips and making sure nothing is wobbling in the spine for all three of those positions. So I'm going to cover the farmer carry, the front rack, and the overhead. Obviously, as you go up the body, it's going to get more difficult. Some people will find the farmer and front rack kind of in that middle zone where one is not harder than the other. They're kind of equal, but overhead is definitely hard to just be able to keep your rib cage down. So the first is with 2 weights, I'm going to be able to stabilize myself a lot easier. And what I want to do is push my spine down, or my tailbone down, and hook it forward. So I have a front line really secure in whatever position I have the kettlebells. And then I'm going to be marching, going slowly from one foot to the other, grabbing the ground with my foot, and then transferring my weight to where my hips do not shift and wobble around in those positions. So farmer carry, right, you're watching for those hips swiveling side to side. So same thing with the march. You want to see a straight line from the toes up to the hips. Same thing for the front rack, right? I'm walking down my hips, keeping that all in the front line, making sure as well that we don't see this hips come forward in front of the weights. I want to make sure the hips are behind the weights and my hips are tucked and on the whole time. Overhead position can be difficult with 2 weights just because it's hard to get that rib cage to not flare. So bringing 1 weight or a mixed rack, if we're working on that position, would be a better solution. And then in the 2 positions that it's more difficult to do one hand, thinking that farmer carry, I'm going to be pulled constantly to my right side here. So I have to really overcome that anti-rotation on the opposite side. And same thing for front rack. Straight up and down with my forearm, still trying to not wobble to one side or the other with that one position. So I hope that helps out. Just make sure you lock down your athlete's hips whenever you're doing these movements, whether we're marching in place or traveling with all 3 of those positions. Hope that helps. Have fun.